12 grams of vitamin C. Again, it is slow dose. It's a low dose in our opinion, but even that, it shows the high dose. I mean, vitamin C at this level shortens the stay at ICU. It cuts down the mortality rate. Now, let's look at COVID-19. We know COVID-19 is primary causes of pneumonia, ARDS. And so high dose IV vitamin C has been tried and is still ongoing right now in China. Now, these are the preliminary data and the impressions only, okay? The final data is being tallied and will be published hopefully soon. So in the Shanghai group, and this is up to about 2 weeks ago, I think it was March the 17th. So out of 358 total confirmed cases of COVID-19, about 50 received high-dose IV vitamin C treatment. The doses this time is much higher than these other studies in the past. The doses are 10 grams to 20 grams, 10 grams every 12 hours. And those moderate cases received 10 grams, and those critical cases received about 20 grams. Occasionally, these patients may even receive a bigger bolus dose, okay? Now, the overall impression right now is that out of those 50 patients, there appears to be a shorter hospital stay of about 5 days compared to a 30-day average hospital stay. And also, no one in the vitamin C group died. There were a total of 3 deaths among those 358, and none of those deaths patients received IVC. And one particular case, very interesting, is that a senior citizen who was rapidly deteriorating into clinically, it was in the oxygenation index. And so he was receiving a bolus of 50 grams of vitamin C on top of whatever or he was already receiving. So we're talking about 60 to 70 grams of vitamin C. Now, this 50 gram of vitamin C was a bolus over 4 hours, quickly. And the real-time improvement of the oxygenation index was observed. And again, I didn't put on the slide, which I should, is that no significant side effects was observed. Now, you all know probably there was the world's first high-dose IV vitamin C clinical trial was announced and carried out, or being carried out, at Wuhan, at the Zhongnan Hospital of Wuhan University. And in this IVC, patients were receiving about 24 grams of vitamin C a day, which is much better than before, the dosage-wise. And we recommended probably 30 to 60 grams, so this is approaching that level. And there were a total of over 40 cases of confirmed COVID-19 enrolled. And the initial trial design asked for more patients. And luckily, and unfortunately probably, is that the good news is that the COVID-19 epidemic in the China area has been reducing, declining. And the bad news for this trial is that they can't recruit any more patients, which is good for the mankind, for China, for worldwide. And I can talk a little bit later after the end of the talk. So the results are being analyzed, but the preliminary analysis shows the trial has been changed because of the nature of we couldn't recruit more patients. So the impression so far is that the high dose vitamin C seems to be effective, and the laboratory data shows significantly improved inflammatory markers and the metabolic and organ function tests, for example, the liver function tests or renal function tests, or smooth and normal. And so that was the results from the Shanghai and Wuhan area. I also have I have advised and treated some patients on my own, not in this in the group settings. These are of course anecdotal, both oral and IV, and that appears to be pretty impressive too. Some of you may know I have reported on the YouTube, which I'm not gonna repeat here. And because of these, the evidence in the literature and also the preliminary data in clinical experience, both Shanghai and the Guangdong province. Shanghai is a city that's like Washington, D.C. in the United States. And Guangdong and Shanghai are both major provinces or cities in China. And at least these two cities, I mean, these governments have included officially high-dose vitamin C in the standard of care of COVID-19. Now, I know on the website, some major media outlet announces that that's fake news. Now, let me tell you officially that's not true. These are official recommendations. The policy is widely published on the government website in China. Okay, so we talked about, so far we talked about the IV vitamin C. Now let's look at, actually I'm more interested in the oral vitamin C. Why? Because I think the more importantly is the vast majority of us, those are in the audience, and we probably, hopefully we won't reach that moderate to critical stage. But how can we prevent the public? How can we treat the public, most of the people? In this COVID-19 and in the future, in common colds as well. Now let's review some of the literature here. Now last year, I think that, this year, I'm sorry, 2020, I think this was published in February. There's an article published in the British Medical Journal, Military Health, a large study coming out of the South Korean Army. There were 1444 South Korean Army recruits. These are young folks, about 22 years of age. They were divided into two groups. Vitamin C group received 6 grams of vitamin C daily. Now that's the dosage I usually recommend. I recommend people to take 5 to 10 grams vitamin C daily. Actually, I've been taking this high dose for many years, okay? Not for preventing COVID-19. I didn't know, I'm not futurist. I didn't know COVID-19 was coming, but I do this for the prevention and of chronic disease. At the end, coming back to this trial, the study, at the end of the 30-day training, the VC group showed a 0.8-fold, nearly 1 time, 100% reduction in risks of developing common cold. Okay, so there appears to be, plus others in the literature, there appears to be evidence that vitamin C by mouse can prevent colds when the dosage is high enough. And here is a great review a couple of years ago, and that found that vitamin C by mouse can reduce duration and symptoms of colds and may prevent colds. Now, this is a meta-analysis which basically pulled 29 qualified clinical trials in order to, scientifically, all these clinical studies, they have to meet certain criteria. So there were a total of 29 trials that qualified, and mostly are double-blind, randomized control studies. There were a total of 11,360 people involved. And here are some of the major conclusions. One is that low dose, again, 200 milligram daily, to me, that's a joke, okay? 200 milligram daily vitamin C. But even at that level, it can reduce the cold duration adults by 8%. Imagine it increased by 10 times, 2 grams, or even 50 times, like me. I take 10 grams a day. Well, I can tell you, many other people I have never had a cold in, I don't remember how many years. The same dosage, 200 milligram in children, cuts the duration of cold by 14%. In children, when the dosage is increased to 1 to 2 grams daily, so vitamin C 1 to 2 grams daily in children cuts or reduces the cold duration by 18%. Let me tell you a story here. Well, 2-3 years ago right now. There was a 5 or 6 year old kid of my friend who was having cold, runny nose, and low grade temperature. And the parents, the grandparents wanted the parents to take him to the hospital. And the parents are big believer, my friends, and a big believer of vitamin C. So he asked me for my help to convince the grandparents, don't go to the hospital. I went, I brought with me some vitamin C. So what I did was poured 5 grams into orange juice and make the kid to drink at the spot. And by the evening time, this was about lunchtime, by evening time, fever is gone, everything is gone. Now, also the trial find that vitamin C reduces the severity of common cold